Sunshine Live im Interview.
But let's start chronologically, like do it to it. First of all, congrats to platinum in 7 countries and gold in 12 countries, like all over the planet. Everybody knows your sound, and I can't believe what you just said in a video I saw on your Instagram page. Can you please explain the production process of the track? And did you expect even a rudimentary success like this after you finished it?
Production process was pretty simple, honestly. I think what took me the longest is cleaning it up and really making it sound like just prominent in the radio world and just all those type of things. But the production itself was pretty easy. It took me about an hour and a half to do the original idea when I first got out of my bed. And then a few months it took me to actually put it all together and make it sound clean. But I'm super happy how it came out. It was one of the best things ever. I'm super proud of it still.
Like after you have finished it and you listened to it, did you listen to it and you thought, okay, actually, I just created a masterpiece?
I mean, I knew I created something special, but you never know if you make a hit or not. That's the beautiful thing about music is that you can just make songs and just never know. I think that's like the most amazing thing ever. And I never knew. I knew it was special. I remember showing my team about it, and they were like, "Yeah, this is super sick." And then I started showing more people, and everyone was just saying there's like a massive hit. I remember showing DJ Snake, and he was like, "Yo," he hit me up. He was like, "What is this? Like, needs to come out." So I mean, a lot of people were starting to know what was happening.
What does your grandma honestly thinks about it?
My grandma loves it.
Yeah,
She loves it. Yeah, she loves it. I remember we brought it to EDC this year, last past weekend. So she was vibing to the song.
That must be insane, like an insane experience with a grandma. Like, you worked as a DJ in the States already before to it. Like, I like to compare electronic music always like with your first coffee. Very often disgusting at the first time before you finally get addicted to it. Like, how did you get, say, infected with electronic music? How did it happen?
I mean, it was in high school. I started listening to it a lot. Showtek, Hardwell, Skrillex, all those guys. And then I just, kind of took it from there. I remember graduating high school and just wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to get into music, wanted to produce. And around 2018, I think it was, 2017, or no, it was 2016. 2016, I started producing. So just took it from there, and just years of just in my bedroom, not leaving, just getting super fat because I was eating in my room and not leaving. I was just becoming a meatball. And just, I got to be 2 years in, and then I think I started releasing music, and that's when I started doing well. And then during quarantine of lockdown of 2021, that's when I switched my sound to house music.
So I hear like you're kind of enjoying also the production process. Do you see yourself like meanwhile more a DJ, or are you more the producer? What do you enjoy
I'm more
more?
producer all day. Definitely more producer. I love producing more than anything. I think creating new stuff for my shows is the best feeling ever. I think that's what we all aim for, as DJs. It's very easy to DJ, it's not very hard, but to actually put on a performance is what's the hardest part. How can you get people engaged? Like it's the performance thing is just not easy. You have to build it with a team. Like, that's something that I'm doing next year as well, bringing full production to my shows and everything else. But playing new music in my shows is probably the most nerve-wracking, but almost like it's a very melancholy feeling, like, is it going to do well? Are people going to like it? But that's like that's the high that every DJ gets, because you never know what could possibly pop off.
So do you remember your very, very first gig as a DJ, and then the very first gig where you played your own tracks?
Yeah, it was in Orlando here, in my hometown. The show was absolutely dead. There was no one there. No one walked through the door. So I remember no one came to the show. I was playing for the bartenders, and I was very disappointed. I was very sad. But around 12:30, and we had like an hour and 30 minutes left. The club owner came. He said, "Yo, you got to shut the club down. Nobody's here, man. Like, what's going on?" And the bodyguard came up to me and he said, "Yo, you want people to come to your show? You got to make music, man." So I went home and started making music. And that was it.
Nice, but at least it sounds like the bartenders enjoyed it, kind of. And I think it's important to have like experiences like that before the big success is coming and you get used to like the big main stages. I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's
it's good.
an important experience for every person who starts to get successful with stuff like that. For example, music.
Yeah, it's good to have those experiences. You should it helps humble yourself as an artist, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in the States, you also have some residencies, for example, in in Las Vegas. Has Vegas a big techno scene? How's the electronic music scene over there?
Massive, man. It's crazy because there's so many people that actually love house music there, electronic music. I mean, it's all over the place, but it's alive and well in Vegas. Trust me, it's doing well.
Yeah, it's definitely on my visit list. One of the top cities. I
Yeah, if
really.
you ever want to come to Vegas, let me know. I'll get you to come to one of the shows. So,
Oh, I take your word. Your European tour. You've just finished a whole European tour. Have you had any some time also to party here, to not to be the DJ but to be the raver here? Have you had any?
in Germany, yeah, I
Oh,
think I had two shows where I got to actually just, relax and, have a drink. But most of the time I was there, yeah, I was in and out.
do
So,
you remember which clubs or parties you enjoyed in Germany?
man, I gotta go back. Um,
I mean, you had to,
I
but
don't remember the name. I have to go back to my calendar and see.
was it a festival? Then it was probably the Perukaville.
Oh, it was Prukerville. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was when I first got there, actually it was a pretty bad experience. Not the festival itself, but for what I had. I had a stomach virus. But that wasn't the festival that I stayed at though. But I will tell you about it. So yeah, when I got to Prukerville, I had a stomach virus and it was so much pain, so much pain. I've had it for like 3 months or like three days or so because I was eating bad food in Ibiza, and then I went to Prukerville, and it was so much pain, and I couldn't handle it. So I remember getting there, and we had like this McDonald's truck in
I
Prukerville.
cannot believe they really have a McDonald's truck in the backstage. Really.
It was actually really good. It was really good, surprisingly. But it was a hard time for me because I was having so much pain. I couldn't even stay. That was one of the times that I had to go. But I think there was another Germany show that I had towards the end.
You played Panama open air.
Oh,
That's what it was. Yeah, that was fun. And it was in the rain. That was cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, summer rain can be insane. Like my best here Christopher Street day I've ever had was completely underwater, but it was still warm and the people just enjoyed the rain and were like dancing in the puddle of mud. It was crazy. Like
That was
rain, it doesn't
crazy.
have to be a party breaker.
Yeah.
So, your hometown is also in Orlando, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. How is the how was the scene like in your well during the school time? Have you had like electronic music raves, or is that something that is pretty new in the States, like a real raver scene?
I think in Orlando, Florida, it's pretty big. The dance music scene is crazy here in downtown Orlando. It's doing very well. We just had EDC Orlando, which was really cool. That's a massive festival every single year. I think that's the only festival that we have in Orlando. I know there's like other festivals throughout Florida, but I think in Orlando there's only that one. Um, but I mean the music industry in the US has been great for years. I mean, it's still doing very well. Um, I think it's very different how you guys in Europe party than the US. I think I think people in the US really enjoy partying, but I think people in Europe know more music um, than people in the US.
I mean, you
Uh,
one day show me a party in Las Vegas, and I show you a party in Berlin.
that's perfect. Let's do that.
Fingers crossed, I do it.
Let's do that.
And like you played now many stages, like from one day to another. Yeah, you were able to enjoy the big stages. Is there any stage on your spoon list you really want to play one day?
Um, I think, like I eventually want to do like Madison Square Garden, like New York or something. Something along those lines. I think like stadiums and stuff like that is something that I dream of too. So I think one day I'll get there. Just probably not right now. So who knows? I don't know.
I just saw you gonna play a show in Qatar. Is it during the soccer world championship?
That is right. Yeah, we have a whole Asia tour too, actually, which is really cool. So we go to Indonesia, Japan, um, the Philippines. I mean, the list goes on, but yeah, we're doing a bunch of stuff in Asia, which is going to be really fun. It's going to be like my first time originally there, but I did go about 4 years ago when I was making bass music, and like I haven't been there since. So.
How did that change? That you started one day with bass music and then you changed a little bit your sound. That was the Corona time, or but what was the influence that you decided, hey, let's change my sound?
I think what it was is during quarantine, like I just wasn't feeling, we were all stuck in our houses, like I didn't play any shows for like a whole year. So I was just really getting tired of making bass music and not knowing what to do with it all, like I was just raving in my own room, like not doing anything to it. So I think I wanted to try something like, I wanted to like experiment more and do more house stuff. So it's not like it was not new to me because I was making house music before I put out Do It To It. So um like I put out Marco Polo on Mala's label or not or his compilation. And then I did Funky Town. I did the Frequency 75 for DJ Snake's album. So I mean, I was pretty not new to house music, but I was pretty familiar with it too, and I was starting to play it in my set. But the switchover began during quarantine, and me and my manager were like, I was making like 30 house records a week, so um, he was just like, maybe you should just continue making house music, see what happens, and ended up making Do It To It, and that was it. Now I have all these records ready to go.
How did you come up with the title of the song actually?
I mean, we stuck to the original. We stuck to the original Do It To It. Obviously it's a sample, and we just thought it would be easy just to keep it as the original.
Nice. Have you got any feedback from the original artist?
Oh yeah, I've actually been in the studio with them and everything. They came to EDC Vegas and they did a performance with me. They're great people, great writers, super talented, super talented. So yeah, I love them. They're great.
So one more question to Believe. How was the collaboration with Good Boys?
Very easy. I think Good Boys is probably one of the most talented people I've met. They have such good records. They sent me one song because I hit them up in a DM. I think it was in April, and I said, "Yo, let's work on a song." That was one of the first two demos they sent me, and I was like, "Yeah, like this is sick. Like let me work on it." So I worked on it for like 4 or 5 months and just really tightened it, really made it sound big. And yeah, I think it was a very easy collaboration. I mean, they're very open to new ideas, and I love them. They're great dudes.
Nice. One more question back to Qatar because soccer is huge in Germany and the championship is starting next week, I think. Like people are actually this year a little bit skeptical about it, but still it must be an insane gig, like a huge surrounding. Do you know what kind of stage it will be? Will it be in a stadium or in which surrounding will this gig happen? Do you have any information already?
Honestly, I don't know if I can disclose that right now, but I do know it's going to be crazy. That's all they told me. I don't really know much about it, but I'm really excited just to play there. It's going to be nuts.
And
So,
I mean, I have like I heard some rumors soccer is even in the States getting a little bit bigger and bigger.
oh yeah, soccer is big here, but I mean, obviously Europe, you guys have that. It's always going to be big in Europe. I feel like, but it's definitely getting a lot bigger here in the U.S. for sure.
If it's not electronic music, do you have any guilty pleasures? And they, of course, can be embarrassing. Tell me
Uh,
about
I
embarrassing
love,
guilty
I
pleasures.
love, I love like video games and shit. Sometimes, like when I'm like, playing or shows and stuff, like in between shows, if I'm not like inspired to make music, I don't know. I'll play like my Switch, play Mario Kart, Pokemon, like stuff like that. So I like to play like games that I used to play as a kid.
I was a star at primary school when my brother had an exchange year in the States, and we only had like red and blue and yellow, but gold and silver was only out in the States. So my brother sent me a package from the States, and I was like in the fourth grade, 10 years old, and then I came to school with a golden and the silver edition. People freaked out. I never played it because I couldn't speak English back in the days. So
Oh my
I only
God.
had the games to show them around. Like I'm the owner of golden silver. Yeah, it
That's
was a
funny.
star. Um, are there any fixed plans already for next year? Will you return to Europe and maybe even Berlin? I mean, I saw you will have a New Year's gig for sure, which is a secret so far.
Yeah, it's still a secret. But we're planning something for Europe next year. I hope to be in Berlin though. That's a place I definitely want to return to.
I mean, you can see a little bit of our studio. We have a
I
beautiful
think it
studio.
looks cool. That's really
We
dope.
have the turntables set up for you. We can't wait to hear maybe a live ACRAZE set here in the studio.
I would love to do that.
Nice. I mean, when you make like your hobby a job, it's pretty hard to have or a day off. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I love what I'm doing here. So when I go home, I very often keep on going with my work. How do you make sure you keep your feet on the ground with all this meteoric success? I mean, your grandma is cooking your meal. This is a good start for sure. But uh,
Yeah.
how do you make sure that you can really switch off when you have days off?
Uh, Honestly, like just putting my phone on do not disturb, I think it's important just to really disconnect. I think it's important to just find hobbies. I think it's cool to know that like I can just have fun whatever I'm doing. Like if it's not music, I like to go out, have a good, dinner somewhere, or I like to like, just roam around the city wherever I'm at. But sometimes I like to stay home and just sleep. I think sleep is very important to a DJ because you don't get much of it. So I think it's important just if I'm not working, I'm sleeping. So
Nice. Can we expect some new releases in the close
a
future?
lot, a lot. We have a lot of music.
There
It's
anything you can announce already?
I mean, we should be working on something early next year. But it's this month we've been cranking out. I've been working on a lot of records in November, so really excited that we're finishing a lot of stuff for next year. And these records are really starting to sound really massive. So I'm excited.
Me too. Hey, Grace, very nice to have you. Very nice talking to you, and I can't wait to welcome you here live in our studio. So
Awesome. Hope to
come
see you guys
by.
soon.
You too.
Uh,
So
all
enjoy
right,
your
guys.
meal. Say hi to your grandma, and
Good.
enjoy
Yes.
your Asia tour. That must be absolutely insane there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye
See
bye.
ya.
Ciao. Ciao. Ciao.